So, talking about week 1 with conscious consumption and resistance. Now, week 1 was unique for me because I had been not in the best living environment, that I was really trying to eat healthy, but I was restricted in regards to being able to cook in those details in a safe space. 2 years ago, when I was first recognizing the details of energy and building these 8 steps, I lost 60 pounds in a short 3 months without really trying or changing anything in my eating routines or lifestyle. It was in leaving my environment that healed my nervous system, and I began to question everything. So wherever you are in your journey, let's bring our focus to the sub-pillars of conscious consumption. These 2 pillars will bring light to your consumption habits and shifting to the conscious consumption you desire. Number 1, awareness. Number 2, triggers. Focusing on awareness is being uncomfortably transparent with yourself. What is it you're actually consuming? Ask the deep-rooted questions that your ego often doesn't want to face. What are the portions you consume? Are you working through an eating disorder? What substances do you indulge in? Are you conscious of the water you drink? The number of foods in plastic containers? What type of media and music do you listen to? Are you trying to fill a void within yourself of overconsumption? These are the hard questions I had to ask myself over the years that truly led me to be conscious of the consumption and break through the resistance that I was facing for most of my life. I used to binge eat. I used to binge Netflix. I definitely consumed a lot more alcohol than was desired. But it was getting uncomfortable with myself and asking the hard questions that I brought awareness to the real cause of my consumption that was undesired, but I felt stuck to. The resistance that I continued to face year after year, decade after decade, falling off of these so-called diets that I thought I would stick to. We are constantly consuming, whether it's the media, the air we breathe, the water, the food. It's all consumption that we absorb. And with repetition, we hold that type of consumption with our identity. And it's who we identify ourselves to be that leads to our subconscious patterns that put us on repeat. The longer periods of time we fall into these patterns, the harder it is to break, because unconsciously we are unaware of the fact that our beliefs hold an identity other than what we're trying to break into. So it's in these categories that you can bring your awareness to light, and it will help you to gain clarity of your conscious consumption habits. Number 1, question the clean source nutrition. Number 2, substances. Number 3, your relationship with food. If you're struggling to overcome an ED like I had for decades, this is something to question and bring to your awareness. Number 4, the media and music you listen to. Number 5, the amount of time you're around Wi-Fi, toxins, and screens. Number 6, hygiene and beauty. Question the products of your skincare, your teeth, and your hair. Number 7, material consumption. Do you have habits of overspending? What is the quality of what you're spending your money on? Question your relationship with finances in regards to your consumption. Number 8, your connections. If you're in environments that are gossiping, if you're in environments that are promoting growth, this energy will hold value to your perception and approach in life as well. Now, when it comes to consumption, don't be hard on yourself. We have all been brought up in a society that have been taught to be consumers. So this is something that we need to forgive ourselves for in regards to, the shame, the self-doubt, the scarcity mindsets, all of these things that we feel in regards to our consumption and the things we want to leave in regards to our consumption. This is just a part of how we've been brought up in society for such a long period of time, and it's okay. And what I learned to be true, and I think a lot of us deep down know to be true as well, is that what we consume will never make us feel whole. And that's what we need to bring our awareness to. Now, to gain a better awareness of our consumption, we can look at triggers. I love to say that triggers lead to truth. It is what triggers us that is something we need to face. Whether we're triggered into undesired habits or into hermit mode, to disassociate, to be defensive, all of what triggers us is our ego bringing up something that it doesn't want us to face. Because it's in facing this that, yes, we will gain awareness, but we will have to face the truth of things. And that will come with the discomfort of healing and needing to let go. To let go of old habits that perhaps once made us feel safe. To bring awareness of old traumas that led us into these patterns. To let go of belief systems that we have associated with our identity. And that will lead us to grieve. It's in awareness that we will need to grieve elements not only of our exterior world, but the identity of ourself we've come to know. And that is what triggers us, the thing our ego is trying to protect us from. So getting uncomfortable in the vulnerability of asking the questions of why this triggers me is going to help bring clarity of the awareness of our consumption patterns and the resistance we feel in regards to consumption. When we question if we're overspending and we put on resistance to restrict this, perhaps we don't use our card or spend money for a week, what happens the second that we get our finances back? Do we fall back into old patterns, those habits? Do we spend an entire day shopping on things we don't need? Do we feel a sense of scarcity in that week that we don't have access to our finances? When we binge eat, what is the trigger that causes it? Gaining full clarity and bringing awareness to our conscious consumption takes time. We have to peel back the layers of our mind and our old habits to uncover the root cause of things. But it's in directing our focus and energy towards the triggers that will help to bring clarity to this. Now, these are the 5 categories of triggers that we need to face that will help to bring clarity and awareness to our conscious consumption habits. Number 1, physical manifestation. What manifests in the physical body and of the mind is a clue. I spent decades falling back into patterns of deep, dark depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress, being diagnosed with 13 mental ailments at one point in my late 20s. I had also always struggled with illness, falling into chronic physical illness twice in my life that left me bedridden. I spent decades suffering from inflammation, brain fog, anxiety, digestive issues, hair loss, broken bones, severe allergies, and a yo-yo journey of weight loss and weight gain. What I come to know now is that energy is everything. Everything is a clue. The energy that is being repressed or the energy that we are not drawing our attention to can manifest in the physical body and in the mind. So question these triggers. Number 2, the root of trauma. Don't force it. Give it time, but be intentional to bring your attention to the root of what actually triggers us from past trauma. Number 3, fasting and disciplines. If you struggle like I have for decades to fast, to stick to disciplines, that is a trigger we need to face. To get uncomfortable, to uncover the real root cause as to why we struggle to be disciplined and resist what our ego tells us we need right now. Number 4, environment. Environment is key. What we can't always see, but that holds a lot of energy. Questioning what triggers you in your environment, or if it's the environment itself, is vital towards bringing clarity of your consumption habits. What I have come to know and uncovering the layers towards the root of what causes me a trigger in regards to binge eating, it started with me recognizing different elements. That one, I thought it was stress. And then uncovering deeper, I went to go ahead into past traumas. And then as the years went by, I found a root that really brought clear awareness to me in that trigger. And that is my nervous system is triggered into binge eating when I don't feel safe and secure in my home environment. Whether that's the people, the space itself, the city I live in, the financial stability, everything is energy. So, questioning your environment in general and your connections in regards to that will help bring awareness to what is actually bringing an effect and triggering you into the consumption that you're pursuing. What I have come to know, just leaving an environment, a lot of the things I felt stuck to in consuming excess alcohol, in consuming excess food, in consuming excess material goods, all came from my nervous system feeling dysregulated in certain environments. So if you're unsure of what the root cause is, leaving your environment will sometimes tell you a lot that we cannot see. And that is the awareness we need. Number 5, relationship with yourself. Questioning our relationship with ourselves will help to bring clarity of how we treat ourselves. It's in self-love and self-responsibility and independence that our conscious consumption typically is aligned to that level of identity. If we don't support ourselves and take responsibility, that will show in our consumption habits. If we don't set boundaries and love ourselves, that will show in our consumption as well. Being able to say no in the moment for something that we want in the future is self-love. Doing the hard thing to face ourselves and our habits is self-love. Being intentional to face our triggers comes with vulnerability. And that's the self-love we need. On the next episode of Conscious Consumption, a conscious guide unique to you.